Racist NFL kneelers didn't know what's on every single one of their helmets. Now they're pissed. It has been over a year since Colin Kaepernick knelt during the national anthem under the guise of protesting police brutality and racial inequality in America. That action sparked immediate controversy, which only grew as more players joined Kaepernick's protest that just drew the ire of NFL fans across the country. Fans were angered to witness professional athletes spitting in the face of veterans and in the same breath claim that their intention was not meant to be disrespectful. Sadly, the protests only continued even after Kaepernick became unemployed, after not getting signed to a new team in the postseason. To make matters worse, these unpatriotic demonstrations have spread, making their way into the NBA as well as the NHL as more players join in on these race-baiting antics. However, these players, in their hopes to appear as martyrs, missed one small detail on their helmets that negates their nasty demonstration, and they are pissed after finding it. The national anthem protests have taken on a life of their own after a year of players disrespecting our veterans and flag. These multi-millionaire players, in an attempt to come across as relevant, have latched on to liberal talking points of systematic racism in America. Instead of these players researching these claims made by race-baiting leftists, they just believe the lies and began a protest that is riddled with half-truths and misconceptions. But, instead of the protests just being confined to kneeling on the sidelines, it has grown into something much more. For instance, instead of the players simply kneeling, which is bad enough, many players have opted to raise a single fist in the air. One player that has adopted this sick action is Seattle Seahawks' Michael Bennett, who after tackling a player will raise the Black Power fist in celebration, and it doesn't stop there. According to Amanda Shea, who previously reported on Freedom Daily, Bennett is now claiming that he is a slave of the NFL and even went on to cite the Dred Scott case. "It reminded me of the Dred Scott case. Your property, so you don't have the ability to be a person first," Bennett told reporters Wednesday, according to Breitbart. "I think that in this generation, I think that sends the wrong message to young kids and young people all across the world that your employer doesn't see you as a human being, they see you as a piece of property, and if that's the case, then I don't get it. I just don't get why you don't see us as human beings first." With all that being said, here is where the irony begins for these racist players on the field. Every time one of these race-baiting players takes a knee to disrespect our flag and the sacrifice our veterans have made, they should look at the back of their helmet. On every helmet that these players wear is a small American flag attached to it, which pretty cancels out their disgusting protest. Let's start with the founder of this nasty demonstration, shall we? Listen, if these players want to protest on their off time, then, by all means, have at it. They can kneel on the side of the road if they want, but leave the fans and the game out of it. If these players feel like they are not being treated fairly by the league, then they are free to quit and be on their merry way, but they won't, since they love the attention. The longer Americans continue to boycott the NFL and not be a part of their racist protests, the quicker it will end once and for all.